NFL, week 2. Joe goes 2-1. I won't do the same song and dance as earlier.
I'm sure you won't.
Sean goes 1-2. Womp womp. I'm going to give my first bet.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to take Broncos -2.5. I know they didn't look great in week 1 against the Titans. I need a come to Jesus moment here for Daniel Jones. I really think that this is going to be a baptism for Daniel Jones. A reminder here that he is not some redeemable Sam Darnold player. He's not having a bounce back. He played against an ass Dolphins team, which that is related to my second pick.
Mm-hmm.
That defense is going to have Daniel Jones in hell. You kidding me? Going up against that secondary, that defensive line? Are you kidding me?
How do you baptize a juggernaut? I don't know how you do that.
See, you are trying to anger me, but it won't work, Mr. 1 and 2. What's your first pick? I love it when you do these big spreads.
I love doing this big spread also. Broncos are going to beat the shit out of the Colts. Their defense is going to, jokes aside, Daniel Jones is going to be calamitous in week 2, and everyone's going to remember.
Yeah, this is going to be.
I love this. I also love the narrative, seeing that Daniel Jones smiling in the locker room, and people are trying to say, oh, Daniel Jones looks to be warming up in Indy. Don't quit on him yet. It's been one game against the worst defense in the league. I'm sure Broncos are going to suffocate him. My first pick, Ravens giving 11.5 versus the Cleveland Browns. They just went to the Baltimore Ravens just went toe-to-toe in the most exciting game in the NFL season against the only other potent offense potent enough to do that duel. 40-40 against those two alpha teams between them and Buffalo. Cleveland can't do that. They cannot put up more than 10 points against both of those teams. The Ravens, people are, I'm not worried about the defense. I'm worried about the defense. You shouldn't be. They played Josh Allen in a miracle game at the beginning of the season. Way different situation than the Ravens defense going against Joe Flacco and the shit butt Browns. All right. The Browns are going to get crushed this game. The Ravens may not even have to throw the ball. They could run it with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, and do jet sweeps to Zay Flowers all game. I bet they still cover. They don't need to put the ball in the air to beat the Browns by 12.
See, this is my only problem with this. I mean, it's a plausible line's huge. I think that you're foregoing how good this Browns defense is.
They're going to get carved.
They brought and dragged. I know the Bengals start slow often. They dragged the Bengals down to their level. And I think that's going to be the Browns this whole year. They're not going to have a lot of wins. Don't get me wrong. They are going to sink so many offenses that are not supposed to be sunk. That's a huge.
The Ravens have a good offensive line, though. The only threat from the Browns is the D line. I know they have good players in the back.
Schlesinger looked freaking
dude.
Good,
I am not worried about the Browns' back seven. I'm worried about Myles Garrett.
You're gonna regret this one.
I'm worried about Myles Garrett. He popped Joe Burrow pretty well. You know who's harder to pop in the pocket? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's tough to pop in the pocket with a clean hit and phase him.
I think you're underestimating the Browns. I think that last week was enough evidence that I'm not touching a game that the Browns are playing yet. I'm just not.
I am touching that game like it's Play-Doh. Like I'm touching that game like it's a wall full of push pins that I just want to put my fingers all over this game.
I got one response to my desperate attempt to make plans tonight after a canceled date. The answer was no.
Damon home. No.
Jesus. I had a date cancel on me, and then I started spamming. Not spamming. I sent off like 5 messages to 5 different girls on Hinge. I was like, "You free tonight? You free tonight? You free tonight?" I'm not going down without a fight, but I am sadly going down without a fight.
We'll watch the game together. You can help me test mics and stuff. It'll be fun.
I'm going to go for my second pick. Patriots plus 1.5 against the Dolphins. I sprinted to the dock to make sure that I got this one. Are you kidding me?
Not worried about this
one. You kidding me? You're not worried about
I'll explain in a moment.
Okay, so we have that Patriots-Raiders game, which was unexciting. It wasn't a very exciting game. I still think that there is a world where they catch fire. But most importantly, Dolphins are terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bottom 3 team in the NFL. And it's the easiest strategy to me. If I have a one-score spread or even a spread where they're favored, I'm going to take the opposition to cover.
I understand it. I am optimistic. I'm probably actually overly optimistic for the Patriots this year. I have been. The game 1 made that all look like, it's aging like cheese.
It's going up a stat.
It's going poorly. I'm not pulling up a stat.
Up a stat, guys.
I'm trying to pull up a.
Is this one of the ones that helped you go 1-2 last week?
No, I was doing a weather check for Miami because.
Oh, okay.
Miami, the only time that they will have.
It was hot. It was hot as balls when I was there 2 weeks ago. That I can actually kind of agree with this.
The only time that Miami will ever put up a fight in a game, and it's not because of on-field competency. It's because teams up north go and fly down and play in hot-ass Miami Stadium, Hard Rock Stadium, and they can't handle it. They get sat in the sun. They go from grapes to raisins. They wither in that sun, in that hot Miami heat. They start cramping up, and then Miami, who's been practicing in it, even if they're practicing poorly, they've been conditioned for it. I don't love a mediocre team going against the Dolphins at home.
My only counter, would you not say that if there was one of 3 coaches in the NFL,
you're not wrong? Yeah,
Mike Vrabel isn't.
Okay,
but he doesn't have he probably has a big magnifying glass that's on his team during practice the whole week. You think he's not shooting his team with lasers or some shit to warm them up?
Oh, that'd be innovative. You know what? The Vrabel stamp is just. It's starting to feel like we could tack that onto anything because he's a great coach and be like, all right, here's the rationale. It's fine though.
Yeah, but it's very direct of you saying that it requires a lot of mental toughness to go through that heat. And I'm going to pick a Vrabel team to have the mental toughness. What's your second pick?
My second pick, the Bills given 6.5 versus the New York Jets.
You're picking against all these teams that had really shockingly good week 1s. Why?
I'm picking the 2 teams that looked like absolute Super Bowl champions this year. The Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Those are teams I can bet on to win by a score or more against the historic lowly Jets. The Jets had a great week 1. They performed well against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They exceeded expectations, and Justin Fields looked dynamic. He looked like the best version of Justin Fields that we've seen in the NFL. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one iota. The Bills are a phenomenal team. They are so much better than the Jets. They are so much better than the Jets. They cannot be touched by the Jets. They will sweep the Jets this year. They will likely sweep the Jets this year with a winning margin of plus 20 in the games. That's a fair assumption. This is a 7-point line. I'm not, and I would have taken it, honestly, if it was 13.5. I still would have, because I saw that performance, how that team operated in week 1. And you know what that made me say? That's how a team should operate in week 1. What the hell am I watching on my screen with my team? You see the stark difference between capability and ability. And the Bills are capable, so they get 7 on this one easy. The Jets, man. There's not much pushback here.
Dude, I just worry that the Bills are coming in. For what they did, they still have a lot of problems. The way that they were down, they were in a huge hole.
I know.
I think
but they have the one guy that kind of right now usurps all the problems that you would see on the field. So
I would say that no matter how bad they play, Josh Allen will always dig them out of it. So them winning is not the conversation. It's them covering the spread. I just feel like the Jets showed a lot of fight.
They did.
My overall philosophy when it comes to football betting, I don't like betting spreads that are like hovering around. As soon as it starts to get to 6.5, I have to have like a really good argument for it because there's too much variance that comes with a spread that large.
They're scary.
Football
scary.
No, there's nothing scary about it. We're doing simple math here. The ability to backdoor cover on a 6.5 point spread is very easy.
Do you think the Jets are going to be hanging around this game in the fourth quarter? Do you think they're going to be lingering?
I think they'll be
down, and I think they'll be down by the third.
I was shocked by what they did in week 1. This is one of those teams where I don't want to touch the Jets in any bets because I don't know if there's something there or not. This is a wait and see team for me. I'm touching the teams that are shit. I'm touching all the doo-doo. I'm touching all the
Here's the trend in football late in the fourth quarter that is so nice for the favorites or the winning team and so aggravating for the team that's down. Everyone's taking their sweet time in the fourth quarter, milking clock. If you're winning, you could see 7-minute drives in the fourth quarter. Completely deplete backdoor cover opportunities. If you need a backdoor cover, your team's down by 2 scores in the fourth, it's going to take a miracle. If you're winning, then you can just churn and churn. And there's nobody on that Jets defense. The 11 players in the Jets defense can't stop the Buffalo Bills from churning down 70 yards down the field, taking up 7 to 8 minutes of drive in the fourth quarter and in the second half, most likely. It'll probably be put away by halftime.
By the way, I find it so hard to pay attention with Ron in the chat.
Oh, is Ron going off?
He is. Some of the things that he says are just. I always love when he has a typo and then he's like done it 4 times today. He says typo and then he points out what the typo is. My last pick that I'm going to go with here: Rams -5.5 against the Titans. I love Cam Ward, and I think that this year is going to be a whole lot of. Whoa, look at that Cam Ward throw. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, look at that Cam Ward. Oh, no, his guy didn't catch it. Oh, he fumbled after Cam Ward completely dotted up this defense. They don't have a defense either.
Yeah.
The 5.5 point spread for a Rams team that I know it's probably going to be a little slow to get going. They had fine first game. I think that this is an easy – this is your G5 opponent of the year.
Titans are chippy. They were chippy last week against Denver, but Denver is going to get better as the season goes on. So will the Rams. The Rams defense played really well last week. Yeah, it's a fine bet. I have no knocks for that. I support the Rams.
To not cut you off, you would think for how much Ron types in the chat that he would be a little bit more.
He's always a couple minutes behind.
That's always funny. He takes the time to capitalize every single word. But he then has a million typos, and then he follows up with asterisk typo after he messes up. This is the most unique human being I've ever.
I like Ron because he understands best YouTube practices in capitalizing every word, and I think that he understands that that
hack the SEO.
Yeah, he's getting all up in the SEO. My final pick here: Bengals given 3.5 versus the Jaguars. Jaguars suck. I hate the Jaguars. They're a bad team. They got an embarrassing coach. Trevor Lawrence wasn't great in his opener. ETN, that was a surprise. That was a nice surprise. It won't continue. The Bengals are going to scorch this team. Joe Burrow had
Another very did so well
very middling week 1. Wasn't great. Zach Taylor is asking fans to show up to the game early. He's trying to get this team engaged and the fans engaged. I believe the fans hate the team. I would hate the team if I was a Bengals fan. I'd hate ownership. But when you're playing the sorry-ass Jaguars and you can go watch your dynamic-ass offense go out there and put up 40 points, which I would expect them to do against this team, then you go and you show up 10 minutes early, you cheer the boys in orange on. And that's what Cincinnati's going to be doing. Cincinnati Bengals winning by 4 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. If it doesn't happen, I don't know football. That is the cut and dry method. If the Bengals don't cover against the Jaguars, I don't know ball. And I rescind my own ball knower stamp. You
gave yourself a ball knower?
I've had it. I've had it for years. And there's one person in my life that I gave a ball knower stamp out to. That's been revoked also. Rami, send me a Chris Olave trade again. You jerk off.
You gave Rami
he really wanted one, and he worked hard to prove his ball knowing abilities. And I think he was hurt that I didn't give it to him initially off rip. I didn't know him that well. I had to see if he actually did know ball.
That's been revoked. Rami's a great guy. That's not a ball knower.